What's the risk of going 100% into Solana now compared to loading 100% into Bitcoin and waiting for the halving? So sometimes I've addressed these questions before. The first time I did the risk curve was in 2021, and I've always stressed, like with Bitcoin, according to Yale back in 2018, they said there was like a 1% chance of go to zero. Now it's less than a third of 1%. But just imagine there's a 1% chance it goes to zero. Nothing is risk-free in this world. So I always put together kind of a risk curve to show you how you should play. And you always need to balance risk with return. If there's no return, don't touch the risk. Okay? Make that very clear. Now, this is the way I stack things up right now. And I don't want to offend anybody that may be somewhere on the spectrum. Just imagine it's random logos stuck on a red line. Now, the more you go to the right, the higher the risk. Therefore, you need to get a lot more return from that risk. Otherwise, it's not worth it. And remember, always, number one, preserve capital first. And number two, chase alpha. Grow your capital, but always preserve it first. Anything is not worth risk. So if you look at this, I currently, the way I look at things, and the way the world turns and relative value for money and balancing risk and reward, right now, when I look at all the models I've built for years and years and years, Tesla and Bitcoin are my two biggest positions, but now Tesla is bigger because I deem it to have less risk. But if Tesla goes in a rampage, I'll swap back into Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin does what I think it's going to do, we're all going to be fine. But therefore, I think, considering all the risks of kind of self-custody and everything else, I feel more confident, for example, holding shares on a stock exchange, on an exchange, centralized exchange, than maybe self-custody. So that's just my personal preference. Now, what you're talking about is going 100% into Solana. Bad idea. Let me explain why. So here, this is a visual of what I'm talking about. This is a new chart called the GMI chart, the Gonna Make It chart. So if you imagine Bitcoin on the far left, it's a 99% chance it's going to make it. 1% chance it could blow up. So do everything with that thing in mind. Now, I did block out some of the other tokens on this list because I don't want to offend any bag holders that are out there because people get very upset. And I'm going to do more of that now, but I will share this type of stuff within Patreon later. And then they can take the hard truth in there. But if you look at certain assets, again, there is a probability they're not going to make it. They may not die in the next year or in the next 6 months, but over the next 4 to 6 years, they'll wane away and disappear. And that's just the nature of the beast. This is a probability matrix that looks at all our models, compares assets against each other, and determines, are they going to make it?